After playing the the steel phonograph record with DARPA and kibitzing with the general that, hey, what kind of a joke is this?
Sorry, where did you get the steel phonographic record from?
That supposedly came to me through DARPA from the Chaco Canyon caves. That was in the cave sitting on a pedestal with a little indentation in the rock with what looked like a phonograph cartridge. And the record had 20 pi on it. That's all it had on it. And I figured, okay, pi represents an RPM, rotation. So it's probably 20 times pi rotations, which comes out to 66 2/3 RPM. So I took a 78 turntable and slowed it down to 66, and Stargate music. Why the hell am I playing this?
Stargate, the movie, the TV serial.
No, the movie.
Yes,
the movie. And I go to the local record shop, buy a copy of the Stargate CD. I use that to adjust the speed on the turntable and match it perfectly, and it matches perfectly. So I get very interested in this music. Then around 2000, I was sitting in my living room in East Islip. Actually, no, it was 2002. I'm sorry, it was 2002. And I was listening on the predecessor to this sound system in this room to the Stargate CD. The dog is asleep on my lap, and I'm sitting back listening, trying to figure out, okay, what's with this music? The tonalities on it are perfect. And next thing I know, dog gets excited. I open my eyes. There's these two guys standing in my living room with some sort of a strange suits on them, uniform, whatever. I say, who are you? He says, we represent a group you know as the WingMakers. So I said, okay. And then they proceed to tell me that the problem I was having with the amplifiers is that I had the phasing wrong in the feedback. Correct the phasing. Then they hand me this briefcase full of papers, CD-ROMs, and said something to the effect, this is the next step on your planet here of digital sound. So, okay. I take everything over to Computer Associates, and I talk to a friend of mine, Bill, at Computer Associates. Hey, what do you think of this? And a couple of days later he called me and said, that's some sort of a sound processor. Of course, they'd already told me that the CD has a lot of distortion in the high end because there's only one sample at 20 kilohertz. And the phase gets distorted as you go from 10K to 20K. And that this program, you put it in a DSP setup, it will correct that distortion. What it will do, identify all the fundamentals, and then group the harmonics, and then apply sacred mathematics to align the phase of the harmonics to the fundamentals. And it does just that. It takes a CD digital recording and makes it sound like the master tape, from analog. The processing they gave me is fantastic. And after we put it together and got it working, I was actually able to sell the system to AMD, American Micro Devices, which is Computer Associates' parent company. And in 2000 or 2001 Christmas time, I don't remember which, AMD was going to put out a chipset to replace all the existing chipsets in these digital players. Next thing I know, we get a letter on the patent that the patent's been seized by the military. Something to do with their sound weapon. We had done in 200 kilobytes of code what it took them terabytes to do. So all of a sudden, We now can't sell the thing. It was already on AMD's website. The next step in digital audio. Of course, now it's probably passé. And I sat with my finger, you know where, after that. But still. And I then started to work with these guys from 2755, they told me. And their claim is they made that recording, sent it through the Stargate as through space and time to the present time, and the intent was to elevate genetically mankind to where we become altruistic and all this war garbage stops and the greed stops and we become a society like Gene Roddenberry wanted to have.